Good evening.
Amen.
Thank you all for coming out. And we're going to start this session, and we're going to start with learning about charcoal, the benefits, the health benefits and what charcoal does for the body, how it assists the body to get rid of disease and toxins and so many other things. But before we begin, we're going to open up with a word of prayer, and I'm going to ask Brother Benjamin today if he would give us opening prayer, please.
Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you. Thank you for allowing us to see this day of life and the many blessings you've given each and every one of us throughout our lives. Now, as we come to this class to learn of you, to learn of the benefits of charcoal, where we put them in operation in our lives, that others can see that you have natural remedies for man to be healed, if only we obey your word and follow that direction that you are giving us. So bless this class, that each and every one of us will learn something that we may gladly share with the rest of us. In Jesus' holy and righteous name, we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Could you read this one statement right here? That's highlighted in pink. That's the statement we read.
Okay, we're reading from Missionary on page 127. And it says, the only hope of better things is in the education of people in the right principles. Their physicians teach people that restorative power is not in drugs, but in nature. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained. Unhealthy conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected. Then nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to reestablish the right conditions in the system. Okay. So as we learned, just read that as we assist nature to rid the body of the impurities, we have to change our habits and eat healthier and do those things that help the body instead of those things that hurt the body, then the body will begin to heal itself as we are obedient in those things. Now I've got a handout here on charcoal. Charcoal is a powerful, very economical way for us to rid our body of toxins and to give us relief from some of the things that our body will tell us we're doing wrong.
Anything else in
Yeah, the things that we're doing wrong. So we're going to read the handout and read some of the things that charcoal does for the body. Charcoal removes and adsorbs, not absorbs, 29 of the 30 most dangerous drugs and neutralizes them. Charcoal adsorbs intestinal gas. So when we have gas and we take the charcoal, it helps relieve that. I've experienced that myself. Charcoal can help to control diarrhea in Crohn's disease. And Crohn's disease causes inflammation in part of our intestinal tract. So when those of us who are dealing with Crohn's disease and other things that affect our intestines and our stomachs, charcoal will help with the inflammation. And here we have listed how you can take it. You take 1 tablespoon of powdered charcoal and 8 ounces of water 2 times a day in between meals. And then number 4, inflammation of the bowel can be helped very much by drinking what is called a charcoal slurry water. And we're going to demonstrate that here, how to make the charcoal slurry water. So it can help to relieve the discomfort of inflammation of the bowels. I know we've all heard of irritable bowel syndrome and all those types of things. There's another one, I can't pronounce it. Forgive me for that. Starts with the U.
Colitis.
Yes. That's another condition of the intestinal, that's where there's inflammation. So what we're finding out when we have those things that inflame the intestinal tract and the bowels, that charcoal is a good thing to use to help in the healing process and to remove whatever that is that's causing that inflammation, to pull it out.
Okay, I got a question. So you said I'm out of colitis, so I need to do number 3. Mine is very mild, but I don't want it at all.
Number 4 would help with that. It's basically, number 4 is going to help with that. That when we make the charcoal slurry water, that will help with that, the inflammation. And then number 5, we have here that charcoal helps. It helps with bad breath due to constipation and other oral issues, like when we have a tooth abscess tooth or a rotten tooth in the mouth, and it can cause that. Constipation can cause you to have bad breath because you're not eliminating the toxins, and they're sitting in there like garbage, and it's coming out through your mouth. It can come out through your pores. Constipation is very deadly, harmful, and if we don't correct it, it can be deadly. But using the charcoal will help with the bad breath. And if you have a toothache, you can make this recipe that I have here, to where you could make a paste, take charcoal and bind it together with like charcoal or psyllium husk, and put a little cayenne in it, and set it on that tooth, and it will help alleviate that pain and draw the infection. Charcoal to draw that infection out. Okay, that infection in the mouth can cause the breath to, number 6, charcoal can be used to pull infection out of an infected tooth. We just talked about that. And number 7, charcoal can be used on the skin for like bee stings or snake bites, spider bites. And you see here where I've used it on my skin when I'm outside cutting grass or in the garden. And I've done that. My neighbors look at me like, who is that? What is that? Because I'll go in the house. The Lord gave me the instruction on the charcoal. It pulls and it protects you from allergies and bites and stuff. So I went in my house, made me up some with some water, a paste, and I put it on my arms and stuff, because sometimes I'll break out from the allergies from the grass and working outside, I'll break out. But when I use the charcoal on my skin, I don't break out. But mind you, charcoal can be staining, so you've got to come in and wash it off. Wash it off because it's staining. But I use that for allergies, and it keeps my skin from breaking out. Although I look like somebody, I do it. But I say, just call me what you made. You know, I gotta protect my body out here in these elements. And I'll also drink it, because it works like an antihistamine. Well, the antihistamine is what you get when you get bit, and you swell and itch and you get welts and stuff. The charcoal can help with that, and even drinking it, because you can get welts and you can get that internal from allergies and stuff. Okay, and then let's see, number 8. Now we all know that now you see charcoal on toothpaste, you see it on bars of soap, you see it for deodorant, and because charcoal is so powerful that it keeps down odors, it can pull. Again, when we are not eating the right diet and drinking water to eliminate toxins from our liver or kidneys and so whatever the organs that God has given us to eliminate, charcoal can help to pull it out too. So you see that a lot of things are being made with charcoal, but it's always best to use it in its purest form. That's why we have the powders and we have the tablets where it's nothing mixed together. You can take charcoal and just charcoal powder and brush your teeth. People like black on my teeth, but it helps to whiten it, and it helps with the bad breath too. So you can do that. Let's see. So yeah, that's all we have on the handout. And also there's information here about charcoal and what it does. And this book that I have here is a health encyclopedia, and it's full of a lot of different things about what we can do naturally for our health. And so I'm going to read what it says about charcoal. It says, although not an herb, your charcoal is invaluable in a number of ways. It is a pure carbon and will adsorb, not absorb, but absorb, and 29 to 30 of the most dangerous poisons, thus neutralizing them. So when you go to the hospital and you have an overdose, do they give you charcoal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they give you. What we got here, they'll give you the charcoal. Has anybody ever had food poisoning? Yes. Charcoal helps with food poisoning. But as we just learned here, 29 out of the 30 most dangerous poisons, charcoal will help with. So it's very powerful. And again, charcoal, it adsorbs. That means charcoal, this is the charcoal, and whatever that substance or toxin is, it will bind to it, grab hold of it, and pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it absorbs, we need to know the difference. Absorb means it works through it. It can't, but you can't go, a substance, toxins, they can't go through charcoal. That's how powerful it is. And then it'll pull that toxin out. Okay, and then it says, internally, charcoal cannot absorb all poisons, but it can bind with it, thus neutralizing many of them. Again, it binds with it, grabs hold of it, pulls it. Okay, it doesn't, it pulls it. Okay, and then it says here that here are many of the things that absorbs. And it's talking about some of the toxins. Have you heard of DDT?
Mm-hmm.
It absorbs that. There's other names.
Is it DDT?
DDT, morphine, aspirin, barbiturates, cocaine, opium, nicotine, penicillium, iron, lead, silver, chlorine. So that's a lot of different toxins that it will pull out that we are familiar with, and drugs. One thing I want to note is when you're taking it, it can also pull medical drugs. That's how powerful it is. So you have
what, Debbie?
medical, like
okay.
prescribed, some of the prescribed drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful if you're on a medication to make sure that it doesn't interact with that medication, because it's that powerful. That toxin, which some of those things can be toxic, will the charcoal will draw it to it and pull it out, because it recognizes there's something foreign in the body and it's a toxin. So be mindful of that. In any type of acute poison, the best thing to do is to induce vomiting, followed with a large dose of activated charcoal, and that would be this powdered charcoal. It will say on it, activated charcoal. Diluted in water to render most substances harmless. So it renders it harmless after if you use charcoal. It can't, when it says harmless, that means it's not gonna affect you. It'll take care of it.
Do you think that, and then did it say that if you get a shot, could it absorb for shots?
I'm not sure, but.
They said if you get the shot unknowingly, I think it's one of the protocols that you start taking the charcoal to, not knowing what you were doing at that point, then you realize charcoal was one of the things you could use to help pull it out.
Is it take it in
Yeah, apply it on the injection site.
Because yes, to make that paste, charcoal is so powerful that we're going to learn how to make a poultice here. Charcoal is so powerful that it will pull that toxin through the skin. So if you've got, your bowels are inflamed, you can take it internally to relieve some of the symptoms, but to pull, if you got infection, or it can pull, it will pull it out. And it don't affect the charcoal. You can use that charcoal, I'll show you how we're gonna make the poultice, but you can cover that poultice up, put it in the refrigerator, and use it again, because it didn't affect that charcoal. It can't affect the charcoal. That's how
I do mine.
yeah, but you can, at least I'd say a few more times, you can use that chocolate.
Okay.
Because it does not affect, that toxin in other words, chocolate's like a wall, or a magnet. A magnet, you can't bend it, it's just hard, and it'll pull that toxin to it, and pull it on out. Pull it away. Pull it to where the body can get rid of it. Let's see. Okay.
Can I read this, what this says? This was the number one top thing, what to do if vaccinated. It says, activated charcoal, this is probably the most important. Take charcoal eternally before the vaccination. Put a charcoal poultice on the injection site as soon as possible after the injection. Take charcoal eternally, 4 capsules of 1 tablespoon of powder, 2 to 3 more times throughout the day. Change the poultice before bed and leave it on overnight. When taking charcoal eternally, do not take it at the same time as taking other supplements. Allow an hour before and after taking the charcoal.
Yeah, because it's so powerful, it will pull those toxins, whatever's form, it's gonna pull it. So, okay. So we learned that it will help with acute poisoning. It says here, so it says, let me read this again. In any type of acute poisoning, the best thing to do is to induce vomiting followed with a large dose of activated charcoal diluted in water to render most substances harmless. Usually, a half a cup is needed, suspended in water and taken as soon as possible after the injection of any toxins. So even the injection of any toxins that you feel is intoxicating to your body, you can use charcoal to pull it out.
I remember when I first had my babies, and I was going to the health department at the time, and they would always give you what they call Ipecac, which they said was activated charcoal. Like if the kids get into something and they got poisoned or something, they would always give you that, and it was activated charcoal.
Yeah, for the poison.
I didn't know anything about it back then, but I knew that's what it was.
Yeah, it's powerful and it's inexpensive, very economical, and used for so many different things. It says here also that charcoal can also be taken to stop intestinal gas, about a spoonful and a half a glass of water, followed by another glass of water. And that's good to take that. Make sure you take that water, because it's so strong you don't want it to bind up in your stomach and there's nothing. You want to make sure you get your water intake. It is also very good for diarrhea. In case of colitis or unusual chronic inflammations of the bowel, a charcoal slurry solution can be made stirring powdered activated charcoal in the water, and we're going to demonstrate that here. And then it's going on to explain how to do the slurry water, charcoal water. And it said externally, you can use it as a poultice, which we're going to demonstrate, on wounds and skin infections, and above inflamed body areas. So, as we just learned, with the poultice and the slurry, that it will pull and work on different things in the body. Okay. And we know it pulls out infection. It can pull out through the skin. Like if you got an infection from a bite of some sorts, you can make the poultice and it'll pull it out. If you got inflammation in your stomach, you can pull that inflammation out. And again, I want to remind you that if you put it on your skin, because it's even, I've seen it being used for the skin, which I'm like, okay, they have charcoal masks. You can make them, and they have chocolate mass, it's supposed to be good for
Sell them in
the
the
skin.
store now.
Yeah,
Choco, everything.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a,
They got choco.
yeah, so this is, I heard someone call this, black gold. Because it does
That's
it.
a good name for it.
And so we all need to make sure we have this in our cabinets.
Mhm.
We need to make sure we have this activated charcoal, and I would prefer to say not the capsules, but the tablets. And there's a way you can make charcoal tablets by just taking charcoal and using a binder, and then if you have a dehydrator, let it dehydrate and just break off pieces, and you got your own tablets, and you know what's in it. Because if you're buying things, we don't know, again, as we've all learned from different presentations, what fillers and what adders to spread it and to commercial it. It's best to use it as pure as you can. So we need to all make sure we have this, have our own charcoal, okay? But it can be used for your skin. Let's see, and then I want to share, I shared a personal testimony of how I go outside in the garden and protect me from breaking out, because I literally break out. But with the charcoal, it helps that, and I'm not itching and breaking out, although I look like I'm different out there. My other testimony is years ago, I had to go and have a colonoscopy, is that how you say it? We all familiar with that, that's something they try to get us to have regularly to make sure everything's okay in our intestines. Well, if you're not a person that's used to taking stuff to keep you drowsy because you go to sleep when you take it and they gotta use some kind of drug. After I woke up from that thing, I was so sick from my stomach and dizzy and stuff, and the Lord said, charcoal, and I didn't know nothing that much about it, but I knew it helped with the stomach. And I took me made me a charcoal slurry water and drunk that, and I came back to myself. But I was sick on the stomach, and it helped with that because of the toxins from the anesthesia that they use to put you to sleep. Them toxins. So charcoal says, okay, there's toxins in here. You drink that charcoal, and it's like, okay, where's toxins? And it starts binding and pulling it from and so it can flush out. So it's powerful. I'm so thankful. And there's instructions on how you can make your own. We're not going to go into that. But it comes from with burnt wood, hardwood. That's where it comes from. And there's just a process to make it. So I pray that we can learn that one day, because I want to learn how to make my own. We're going to have to learn how to do our own. And we can by God's mercy and grace. It's not as hard. We don't need all those chemicals and toxins to do that neither. Just basic things simple things that God has given us to do. Okay, so now we're going to do our demonstration of the water slurry. And what you will need is activated charcoal. And this we have here, this is hardwood activated charcoal powder. 100% pure food grade. So there's different types, so do your research. But what we've always used was just simple activated charcoal, 100% pure.
Yeah.
Get it from, I'm sure you can get it on the A word. Amazon.
Let's go Amazon.
We go Amazon. Or I know some of the health food stores carry it also. Here locally would probably be Only Earth. I think they have this particular brand. This one we ordered from a co-op. It's Country Life.
I got that.
Yeah, this is the one we have. And this, I believe, we got, we probably ordered this too, but I think Only Earth, the local health store, has it also. But this one is open, so we're gonna do the slurry water. And charcoal powder is like you gotta be very careful. Because it spills real easy, and it'll go poof. Okay, I need some water, so I'm gonna get some water from over here. Excuse me. But we all know it can go poof in it. It's very light, I guess, the water. Charcoal. So, I'm gonna take that.
Is it best to use, warm water?
I was saying, how did we do that? I was
You
saying,
told both of them. Push it first.
push one.
Push the up top. There you go, and then push
So we're gonna take a teaspoon, and I would say also use stainless steel measuring spoons, because charcoal, again, if you use plastic or something like that, it can draw the chemicals from the plastic. So we're gonna take a teaspoon of charcoal, just a teaspoon for the story. I think it, you can use a tablespoon, but I'm gonna do a teaspoon. You see, I've got a glass, not a plastic cup, but glass. Again, because we don't want to pull any toxins from plastic. And you take your water, and you pour your water in there. And then pour slowly, because it will cool. And now, you see that? Very simple, just water and activated charcoal. It will take care of all the stomach issues and poisoning, acute poisoning. And stir it up. And they say it's good. I've drunken it like this, and it worked for me. But they say also it's good to let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour and let the powders settle down to the bottom and drink what's off the top. I've done it just drunk it. So I say either or, but I think that drinking like this after mixing it, it worked for me. So then there you have it. There's your just water and charcoal. There you have it. This is an 8-ounce glass with 1 teaspoon of charcoal. And I'm gonna drink this later on after this. Okay, so now we're gonna make the poultice. And here I'm gonna use a tablespoon. First of all, when you do a poultice, you need to have a binder with the charcoal so it'll bind together. You can use flaxseed, which is what I have today. They say you could use oatmeal, grounded oatmeal, something that will get jelly, sticky to make it help it bind together. You can use psyllium husk, I've heard. There's different things. So one thing we want people to understand, when you come to learn at the classes about the natural remedies to help, don't only take the presenter's words for it, do your own research, because everybody's individual and different, and have different situations going on. So do your own research and learn for yourself. And as you learn for yourself, you can share with others. So today we're going to use, as our binder for the poultice, we're going to use flaxseed. And we all are familiar with flaxseed. Flaxseed is powerful too. We use it as a binder today, but I grind this up and take it daily for my different nutrients that it's got in the omega-3s. And it's good for the omega-3s is good for your hair, your nails, your skin, so, and your bowels. So we're gonna take one tablespoon of this, and use our coffee grinder. These are wonderful tools to have. Make sure everyone has one of these in their home too, because the coffee grinder can make flour for you. It can, and it is best when you learn to incorporate flaxseed into your diet, to use it fresh. Fresh is better. Don't let it sit and get what's it called, rancid. And you get your coffee grinder and you grind it up to a powder. I use this to make oat flour. When I'm making certain things, and I need oat flour, I just put my oats in here and grind them up. And make my oat flour. So, and now we have, instead of seeds, we have powder. We have flaxseed powder. So we're gonna put that in. And when you're doing the charcoal poultice, you want to use a deep glass. And I'm gonna have to change my spoon. I'm not using that plastic. Or now we're making this stuff with silicone. I don't even trust that. I don't even know what that is. So I just use stainless steel. Stick with what I know. Okay. So we got our flaxseed, and then we're gonna put, also 1 tablespoon of charcoal in there. Be very careful so it won't poof back on us.
How much flaxseed did you use?
Tablespoon flaxseed too. 1 part of flaxseed and 1 part, your binder, which is, at this, today is we're using flaxseed. Then, we're gonna put water in it till we get zero water. Y'all, I'm sorry I didn't have no water today. I'm gonna get it out of the sink because it's not as cold. And those who are watching, this is my first time live streaming, so forgive me for not being prepared.
They'll forgive you.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna use the same spoon that we used to mix the flurry, the chocolate water flurry. We use that to stir it up, and we said it go slow, because we don't want it to poof. Stir it up.
Twiggy's watching.
Twiggy watching?
So
That's
how
what I
much
was
water do you
wondering if she
use? Just
could-
enough to just get
You
it?
get your consistency that you want. You want to spread, because we're gonna actually mix this.
Mm-hmm.
No, she don't.
We're gonna, put it
My
on
friend on Facebook.
paper towel. And
Yeah,
as
it's
cheesecloth,
on.
you can use cheesecloth, you can use a cheesecloth, you can use flannel, I can't think, no cheesecloth and flannel. You can use all those too. Some people just use the plastic wrap, and again, I don't like, plastic is not good. But now you can see where it's, see how it's real, so it's ready. You want it to be like that. Don't add a whole lot of water when you start, just add a little at a time till you get to that consistency. And we're gonna use, then you take a piece of paper towel, that'll help keep it from staining. And, paper towel is a wood product, right? From wood. So that's pretty natural. We wanna use natural as possible. And I'm folding it. I seen a demonstration where a young lady did this, and I said, that's a good idea. So I'm folding the corners to know the area where I'm gonna spread it and have it in the center. So I folded it all corners. I folded it this way on both sides, and then I took it in this way on both sides. So then you take and you put your charcoal and flaxseed. Oh, that turned out perfect. That flaxseed is a good binder. And if you wanted to make more, you could do 2. It depends on the area and how much you want it. But this is a poultice. Put it down. Say you had a bite on your arm and it was infected, and you want to pull that infection out from a spider or a bee sting. Okay. So I'm gonna fold it this way, and I might need someone to help me put it on my, because we're gonna put it like I got a big stick and I'm gonna put it on my arm. So who's gonna be the volunteer? I know who I want. Somebody who's always helping patients. It's their occupation. It's their occupation. This is a little bit.
No.
Oh,
No.
well, there's 2 people who work in that field here.
Might need to put it on my hip.
It will pull some of that information out your head. Okay. Oh, gotta be careful.
That'll be good for your presentation, Sister Sophia.
You go,
Cabbage
and
poultice.
charcoal can be a
Oh,
little.
cabbage poultice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that.
There you go.
I've done that.
Okay,
So which way you wanna
This-
put it?
we're gonna put it across here.
You gonna put it this way or that way?
That
That one.
This way.
with the charcoal.
Okay.
Up against me. And then after that, you're gonna wrap me with, you get some gauze, or what is this, we found out this adhesive band. And we're gonna wrap it with that. So,
Cause I know at the.
ooh, that bee stung me. Woo! Get out of here, charcoal
We gonna
on
fix
that.
you up.
All right, I'll help y'all hold, maybe hold that.
So even with people who's allergic to bees,
Yeah, it's gonna help pull that,
The stingray.
and slow
so
down
you
that.
don't need to, stick.
Yeah, and it'll slow down, what's the antihistamine, what's that?
No, you don't play with that now. You talking about that.
Neither.
that
Yeah,
needle.
this is-
No,
You can just turn it and it'll stick by
You
itself.
better do
Oh,
that.
this is good.
EpiPen, yeah.
Here, you got it, here.
Yeah.
Here,
Might not
you-
can't wait on chocolate.
Look at there.
Cause that's what, at the doctor's office they call it.
Yeah,
COVID.
They call it what?
COVID.
He's down here,
Ain't
and
that right?
he died before
Am
his
I
wife
right?
could get to him.
I need to
Wow.
Google it.
Oh, with the EpiPen?
No, he was allergic to bees, and
So-
I'm saying,
he was by himself, no.
oh,
So this is what we have
Oh, yeah.
to protect us, to pull that infection out, and the pain, and so it won't get inflamed. We have the charcoal coats.
Amen.
And I suggest that we
Yes.
use this adhesive,
Yes.
What did you call
it's adhesive.
what's the other name? Adhesive
Adhesive tape.
tape.
it?
Gauze.
Elastic
Yeah, that's-
bandage,
Yeah.
Bandage.
elastic bandage, self-adhesive. That's what, it is nice and fit, and comfortable and flexible, and you just walk around with that, I would say, until, probably the whole day and through the night, keep it on through the night. And let it, the charcoal pull that, cause that infection, and, calm down from getting bit. So, that is all I have. Do we have any questions? So do we understand that charcoal does what? Does it absorb or absorb?
Absorb.
AD,
Yes.
not AB.
Not A,
Right.
A-D.
A-B.
AD. It's AD system.
Add.
Add.
Because it's gonna pull,
Yes.
Okay.
it's gonna pull those toxins and add it to that charcoal.
Add.
Add.
AD.
Absorb.
If it's absorbed, then that means it goes through, goes through. So that's why it's so powerful. And it's so powerful, it will bind with that and just take it, pull it on out. And you can still use it the next day, because it don't affect the charcoal. So I thank y'all for listening. Thank the Lord, most of all,
Amen.
for allowing us to learn these things.
So how long do you let it stay on there?
I would keep this on overnight. But do your research. This is just a 101 or basic. Do your own research about how you can be blessed by using charcoal. And we are gonna have some things available. We're gonna have some things available that help for you to assist you in doing these things and learning as you do your own research, and to have information in your home. Okay? And so now we'll have our next presentation. And thank you so much.
Very good information.
All out of the way. And those who missed, I just want to say, as I have my charcoal slurry water, it's going to pull whatever toxins I have going on, and help with the gas. That we will repeat things for those who missed, and so that those who are watching, they want to see again and learn more as we learn, because as we are repetitive, that we learn more and more how to share, and it stays with us. And we always are exposed to more information as we continue to learn the same thing over and over. not, did you turn the camera on you or you just waiting for me?
No, I'm just waiting.
Oh, I sure, it'd be nice to have some help.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
that's
some, no. And you know, with our presentation is real time, it's not no, commercial and, it's about teaching and being, who the Lord would have us to be. We don't have to do things a certain way and, like we're professionals and we're on camera and things like that. Like we're on a TV show or nothing like that. I just had to put that in.
You're on camera.
We're just on camera. This is live.
I'm missing the coconut. Oh, is it? Did I bring it in? You see them coconut oil in there?
We have coconut oil. You didn't bring that big thing, coconut oil? I'm sure we have.
Could you check the car for me, please?
Well, did you want to use this? Because we do have some. You want to use this?
Yeah, that'd be fine. We'll check still.
Okay.
There's a reason why I wanted to.
I don't want to take this off.
Sister, could you, somebody look at that and see if I'm in the screen?
Yeah, on both of them.
I'm in the screen on both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, now we'll get started on our next portion, which will be, and before I get started, I would like to say hello to everyone out there on Facebook and YouTube live stream. And we just ask for the Lord's continued blessings upon these natural remedies as we go over them. And you can read that. I want you to use that one because that's a big one that's a lot of people can use and get a hold of. I think that comes from
Can they
Costco.
see it here from here?
Yeah, they can see it. It's in the screen. So I was in the screen too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to do a short disclaimer, which should have done at the beginning. This is, I'm not a doctor, we're not doctors or anything, but this is for informational purposes only. Whenever you're seeking any kind of treatment, make sure you go to your physician to seek that treatment. This is for informational purposes only. So I want to get that clear. So I don't want no one to be out there saying that there was this guy on Facebook and live stream that said that this will cure everything I have. Not to remember, we don't need that. But you definitely won't have the side effects. I'll say that. So today, this part, we're going to talk about the loss of taste. No, first of all, the loss of smell, which normally follows the loss of smell, is taste. And I thought that was very interesting because I have to share my wife's testimony because she lost her smell, but she kept eating. She didn't have no problem. That's kind of unusual. Normally, when you can't smell something, you don't want to eat it. And we're going to talk about that. But the loss of smell, which is primarily the most important thing here because the smell is attached directly to the taste. If you cannot smell, your taste is non and void, pretty much. And a lot of this came about. There are different situations that you can have that could affect your smell, and your taste. But primarily, everything came to the forefront when COVID, because that's one of the, some people don't have any other problems, but they may lose their smell and their taste. And they might not get sick, might not get fatigued or anything. They might just lose their smell. Now, we've got about 10 people here, physically. Now, out of the 10 people, anyone that had COVID, did they lose their smell and taste?
I lost smell. I lost
I didn't
taste.
have.
Anybody? So that's okay. It's only 3 of us. Sister Griffin, you didn't lose your smell or taste or nothing. Yeah. Okay. Amen to that. Now the loss of smell is called anosmia, a condition that causes a person to partially or completely lose his or her sense of smell. Symptoms include loss of smell and change in taste of food. Treatment starts with diagnosing the underlying condition. Okay, there's an underlying condition. Now this main condition that we're dealing with was COVID, and it continues to be a problem. People are losing their smell and taste. And we're going to go over some of the other issues that may cause it, but the main primary thing here is those that get COVID, I think they say 75% of them lose their smell at some point. Some get it back, they say 4 weeks on the average. Most 75% to 80% get it back. Some, it takes up to 6 months. Some are called long haulers. It's been a year and 2 years, they still have not got their smell and taste back. I don't know how you can, you really, a lot of people feel it's a small thing because until you lose your smell. It's what's the big deal in losing your smell? That's a lot of people feel that.
If the house is on fire, you can't smell it.
For a lot of safety issues.
Safety issues.
What are some other things that happen? Some of the other things that happen when you lose your smell that you can't. And some of the things that happen when you're cooking, you can't smell something burning. So you need not to cook if you can't smell it. You better have somebody in the house with you. If there's a fire, say you have a upstairs and downstairs in your home, and something starts a fire, they start downstairs or something, you're not going to smell it. You're not going to smell it till maybe you see some flames, but you still have your sight. You can ingest poison without knowing it. You can also eat spoiled food because you can't taste it.
You can't smell it.
And this is one right here. Your hygiene. You won't even be able to smell your own underarms or anything. Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. It's been, and as soon as you go around somebody and they start frowning up, you wonder why. I mean, these things are problems if you can't smell, right? So those are dangers of losing your smell. Some people were born without smell. And born without smell. But the sense of smell is important to overall health and nutrition, since diminished sensations can lead to poor appetite and malnutrition, especially in the elderly. Now I say especially in the elderly, so I guess I don't know if I'm elderly or not. I'm getting there, but it does lead to poor appetite and malnutrition. Because I lost weight, I lost muscle, and I lost my smell, my taste. So that's malnutrition. I didn't want to eat anything because I couldn't taste it. Now, one problem with the taste of smell that I noticed, and it starts affecting your taste, you can't separate the two. They go together, really. Some people will say, well, they're two different distinct things. Once you lose your smell, we're going to talk about that, it's called the olfactory gland. And once that's affected, there's a lot of problem that comes out of that. But if you can imagine someone that has lost their smell and their taste for a year, 2 years, you know, they have therapies now, smell therapies, because they always go for get your smell back first, and your taste will come right back along with it. And I will go with a testimony. I can attest to that. And the one is when you're born without it, your smell is called congenital anosmia. But what are the causes of anosmia? The most commonly is the common cold, influenza, flu, sinus infections, acute sinusitis, hay fever, non-allergic rhinitis, congestion and sneezing not caused by allergies, and COVID-19. Other issues are tumors, nasal polyps, and nasal deformity. And the other ones, in addition, the olfactory pathways which send messages between the nasal passages and the brain can become impaired from age and from certain medications. Also, certain medical conditions can dull or diminish the sense of smell. These include, here is something that I thought was very interesting. It is a sign. When you lose your smell, it could be a sign of Alzheimer's. When you lose your smell, it could be a sign of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's was the top one on there. Brain aneurysm, brain surgery, cancer, chemical exposures to insecticides or solvents, diabetes, Huntington's disease, Kalman syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, Korsakoff's psychosis, malnutrition, multiple sclerosis, MS, multiple system atrophy, MSA, Paget's disease, Parkinson's disease. I think, what's the gentleman, the actor that's been living with the Parkinson's disease? Michael Fox. He talked about that too. He's had Parkinson's for it.
He talked about losing his smell?
Yeah. That's one of the effects of it. Pick's disease, radiation therapy, rhinoplasty, schizophrenia. I don't get schizophrenia, but that's one of the signs. Sjogren's syndrome, traumatic.
Is it Sjogren's?
Yeah, SJOR. That's it. Yeah. So pronounce that.
Sjogren's.
What is it?
Syndrome.
It's a immune.
Autoimmune. Traumatic brain injury and zinc deficiency. I thought it was very interesting in the study that, especially in the big medical book, the medical encyclopedia, Natural Remedy Encyclopedia, it didn't talk too much about, but it did mention a little bit about the loss of smell and taste. And it said it could be a zinc deficiency. But you gotta be very careful with zinc. You cannot overdo zinc, or you have a worse problem. But zinc deficiency was one of the things.
And you gotta get a certain amount of dosage, because they got different dosages for different things.
Yes, they do. But you know, when COVID started, the one they got is at 50 milligrams. But they said that's too much.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Because I read on it, and I was taking the 50 milligrams. But you know, every time I took that zinc, it will make me sick on my stomach, especially if you don't take it with food. I can't take it unless I eat.
You see the different problems that may cause it. But what we're gonna deal with today is COVID. Is the main one. But there's a lot of conditions that cause it. We're gonna deal with COVID. And I'm not gonna read all this. Just going through it little by little. So what we have is the COVID situation here. But it says a new study finds that most people recover their lost senses of smell and taste after COVID-19, though it can take a while. Now, I cannot imagine long-term loss of smell and taste. I get a testimony.
Can I ask you something? Is that when the people have the long-term COVID, or just both?
No, it could be either way. Sometimes one of the problems with long COVID is they can continue to have that loss of smell and taste, but they don't always have to have that. They can regain that and have other issues like the cough and the fatigue, very fatigued, brain fog. There's people talking about it now. You know, we're 3 years in, right? Yeah, long COVID, all that. Breathing conditions. However, around 5% of adults and an estimated 27 million cases may experience long-lasting changes to these senses after initial infection. And there was a part here that talked about it doesn't necessarily attack directly your sinus. It attacks just around it. And that's what the big problem is. It affects those senses around it.
The nerves around it?
Yeah, the nerves around
Your sinus.
your sinus. That's where it attacks mainly. And it's almost like an autoimmune issue. Once you have the infection, it's like it just overreacts. And that's why sometimes it takes a lot longer for you to get your smell and taste back. It overreacts. It's like it's pumping the histamine, just continually. It's just pumping it once you get it. Says here that this one study shows that at 6 months, the majority of patients have recovered after COVID smell loss. This is reassuring for patients in early weeks or months after infection. I couldn't imagine 6 months. That was something to deal with. Now, once you lose your smell, your taste, it says the only things which we can properly taste, right? The only things that we can properly taste in the mouth are salt, sweet, bitter, sour, and they have this new one that they just studied called umami. These are the only things we have receptors for on the tongue. The only thing. Everything else is detected in the nose from the smell, molecules passing up from the back of the mouth to the back of the nose. So that's why when you lose your smell, they said if you, just to test it, you could be eating something and hold your nose. It'll change the taste of it. It'll taste different if you hold your nose. Or put nose plugs in, just to test it. There are certain tests you can do like that.
So you said the receptacles on our tongue can help.
No, it'll still make taste. The only 4 things or 5 things that it will be able to taste is salt, sweet, bitter, sour, and umami.
So does that mean somebody might oversalt their food if they're dealing with that?
That's right. That's right.
What is the umami?
Yeah, I gotta look it up. I have it written down somewhere. Umami, huh? It's like it's savior. It's a savory sense. Savory sense. And that's just what they studied and just they added because really it was just a 4, but they've been studying recently and it says like a savory taste bud on your lips that they've studied that they said it's come out. And this says our sense of smell is responsible for about 80% of what we taste. 80%. Without our sense of smell, yes, that's what umami is, because it lists all of them again. Umami is a savory sensation. That's what that is. All other flavors that we experience come from smell. This is why when our nose is blocked, as by a cold, most foods seem bland or tasteless. Also, our sense of smell becomes stronger when we are hungry. Y'all realize that? Yeah. That's why they say never go to the grocery store on an empty stomach, because you're gonna buy more. You're gonna smell things. You're like, oh, let me go back there to the deli and see if they got some plant-based something back there I can eat. Y'all notice I say out there plant-based. And I'm gonna say it again, plant-based. Okay. And we'll talk about that because the diet, fruits and vegetables, because we're talking about inflammatory response. So those foods that are going to best bring down those inflammatory responses is fruits and vegetables. You can't get around it. Fruits and vegetables. I wish I brought my picture of the just leave us alone. You know, I should have brought that. I could have just put it up there like that. Leave us alone. Leave those animals alone. Yes, I said it. Okay. So this one, I have something to read off of here. Then we're gonna go into a testimony. Now y'all might wonder, I'm saying this little 8-minute piece for the end. Now, this is not what we used to see. Well, you know, I tried to find something that's more related to us, but it wasn't there. But the reason why I brought this 8-minute piece here, because it went over exactly what the problem was. Well, what we're going to deal with, one of the remedies. And I'll mention some of the remedies talked about, natural remedies that were talked about were, they call those oils hot oils. Strong oils, like the orange essential oil. But there's particular ones that I used that worked, and they're considered hot oils. That's why I got the coconut oil up here too. But it says those that get COVID, up to 70% of people who get the virus also lose their sense of taste and smell at some point. At some point. It's not initially the first thing that happens. A lot of times. I know it wasn't with me. You know, started getting a little dry cough, and that stayed with me for probably 4 or 5 weeks. But while it's not uncommon to lose your sense of taste and smell with other viruses that can cause stuffiness, like a cold or the flu, plenty of people with COVID lose these senses without having congestion. They don't even have congestion. The exact reason behind it has been a bit of a mystery, but new research, you know, they're learning more and more about this COVID. And, you know, they give you information that they want to give you. That's why we got to do our own research, a lot of this information. Why does COVID affect your sense of taste and smell? It talked about the SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID-19, and their loss of smell was tracked over time. This is some studies they did on golden hamsters. In their analysis, the researchers discovered that SARS-CoV-2 doesn't affect the nerve cells in your body that detect smell. Instead, it attacks other cells that line your nasal cavity. They line your nasal cavity. The local infection causes inflammation that prevent the nerve cells from displaying olfactory receptors, which are responsible for detecting odors. As a result, you can't smell or taste well. It seems from our study and others that direct viral entry into the nerve cells responsible for our sense of smell, olfactory neurons, only occurs in extremely rare cases. And it talks about, does this happen with other viruses? Of course it does. And it goes into the treatment, which a lot of the natural treatments were used with essential oils. One treatment was, remember the garlic? Remember the garlic that was talked about? It was a garlic treatment. You make like a garlic drink. And they said that helped because it's antiviral, antifungal. So garlic was one of the main ones that they used. Now this is what when I lost, so I'm gonna share this. When I lost my smell, when I first lost my smell, I knew I was losing my smell because I was cleaning cat litter and I couldn't smell it. I said, uh-oh, something's wrong here, right? And not too long after that, I said a couple days after that, I was eating a banana. And the banana tasted like cotton candy. It's just sweet. It tastes like cotton candy. It truly tastes like cotton candy. I was like,
So it was stronger.
it was, it was just, I said, man, what's wrong with the banana? Didn't have no spots on anything, but it tastes like cotton candy. It was intensely sweet. Everything was intensely sweet. I tried to eat some cereal. And I put some drops of vitamin D in the cereal. Which, I do that. That's no big liquid vitamin D. It was too sweet. I couldn't eat it. So I was like, wow, what's going on here? But what really got me was I poured me a glass of water and I drank that water. I asked my wife, I said, could you taste this water? It's rotten. And she drank water tastes fine to me. I said, boy, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And I remember my wife was trying to get me to eat. I said, I don't. It's right. She never heard me say it before. I don't want to eat. I couldn't taste anything. So I went back to fruit cups, and I would get my youngest son to go to this restaurant where they had steamed, was it cabbage?
It was tofu.
It was steamed cabbage, tofu, but I couldn't even eat tofu. I ate the steamed vegetables and had brown rice.
Gradually, you got it.
Yeah.
Came back, you were able to eat that. But at first, for days, he wouldn't eat
So-
that until I told him, you want to start eating.
So now I was dragging to the park every day. Still, I was getting that fresh air. So y'all out there, don't sit in the house like so many people did. We went out there, I drug around that park every day. So now, August of 2021, I got a text from my lovely sister. And this was what do they call it? What they on all the
It's
time?
not social media.
TikTok. It's the TikTok. For y'all out there, I'm not on TikTok. But my sister sent me a TikTok in it was August 2021, because I went back and looked at it. And there was a gentleman sharing what he did when he lost his smell and taste. He said he tried all sorts of things, burnt orange, because burnt orange was something that was out there too, people using. They were actually burnt orange, so it smelled more intense. He said that didn't work for me, right? So I looked at it, I'm like, I don't have no smell, I don't have no taste. So, hey, let's try it. So, this is what it did. He said, he uses his finger, but he said, take a Q-tip. I took a Q-tip. He said, first, line your nostril with olive oil. And the reason why that is, these are hot oils.
Which are what?
So, well, I'll get that. And the reason why you need to line it with something so it won't burn your lining, right? So then he took the rosemary. And if we know rosemary, did I bring information on rosemary? I don't think I did. But rosemary is good for people with breathing issues. That was brought out quite a bit. Breathing issues. So I took the rosemary and lined my nostrils with it. Took a deep breath. Then I took peppermint essential oil. Did it. And lined my nostrils. I did that 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And I think within 3 to 4 days after I started doing it, I started getting the smell back, started getting, my taste back. Now this is what I experienced with this. First, the coconut oil, buying it first. Then the rosemary, then the peppermint. You can probably use eucalyptus, something. It has to be something strong. Because a lot of therapies, people that have problems with their smell long term, they're going through these different therapies now. They're called smell therapies, where they have to smell these strong oils and different things. They have to smell it.
So do you think by using that early, that might help not to get long term?
Well, it could have. I don't know.
Some people get it, and some people just don't get it.
Yeah, right. But a lot of people, and that's why I got this video up here, because I was just looking at that, and I know what I did. By somebody shared it, and I did it, and it worked for me. I will attest to it. It worked for me. I was jumping for joy when I got my smell back and my taste. I was happy because I never lost my smell. Go ahead.
So is that what they call burnt oil, what you just went through? I mean, burnt orange?
No.
Okay, that's another remedy.
That's something else that people were trying. I mean, they actually had a show where people would like somehow burn their oranges or cook them or steam them or something and try to smell that. And he said that didn't work. But that is something that people use. But you can get the orange essential oil, which is going to work better anyway. But people were actually burning oranges, trying to get the intense smell.
So you put the coconut in there first.
Right, to line it.
To line it, and
Yeah.
then you took and put some
The rosemary,
first, and then
and then the peppermint.
Did you just inhale it, or did you line your nostrils?
I lost my, then I inhaled it. After I did the rosemary, I inhaled it a couple of times, and then I took the peppermint and inhaled it a couple of times after that. And you can start feeling it, and it's good. I know it's good for sinusitis. It's gonna clear some things up.
Would it work if you put it on a piece of gauze or a handkerchief?
Yeah, that's the way you talking about just breathe it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna help you. It's gonna help clear you up. Yeah, because stuff start breaking up when you use it that way. Now, this is what I use. I know it worked. That's why I'm sharing. I know that. I know it worked.
And you did it 3 times a day?
3 times a day till I started getting the smell back. And I kept doing at least probably once a day for a few days after that, because I didn't want to take no chances. But there are a lot of people, I don't know, they don't know why, but there are a lot of people that 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, still haven't got the smell back or taste. And they're going through therapies. There's I saw a piece, there's a chiropractor, I think it's in the Midwest somewhere. And they have some system. I don't know exactly what the system is, but whatever the system is, those with long COVID are going into them, and they're having good results from it. He said their practices went up just from COVID long holders, like over 40%. That's all they're dealing with now. But, Jenny, did you have it?
No.
Oh, but so that's what I wanted to share and see how simple this is. How simple can you get? And of course, my cotton Q-tips are organic cotton. If I can get it organic, I'm gonna get it organic.
So if you don't have the coconut oil, you can use the olive oil like the man did.
What
You
man?
said olive oil. You said olive oil.
Oh, I mean coconut oil. I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
Olive oil is not thick enough.
Oh, okay.
It's not gonna line you. I'm sorry. Please
Okay.
forgive me out there.
Okay.
Coconut oil, not
Okay.
olive oil.
Okay.
Olive oil is too thin.
Okay.
Coconut oil. I'm sorry. Why y'all?
Well, that's why I asked, because y'all wanted to know.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, okay, we got it now.
I want everybody to see this coconut oil. Organic virgin coconut oil, cold pressed, unrefined. And this came from Costco's. there's something else. Anybody have any questions? Because, and did y'all ever realize this? How COVID attacked, we have 5 senses, and how it just took out 2 of them. Just took them out. Senses guard the avenues of your soul. Those 5 senses. Those 2 are taken out from millions and millions of people. You can't smell. I'm probably one of those that said, you can't, what's the big deal? You can't smell. Until I lost my smell. And then I lost my taste. Oh, it's a big deal. You could, malnutrition. It's dangerous. You can't smell smoke. You can't smell anything. You just wouldn't smell anything.
And we learned that other things can cause the same thing as homeless. Things that we used to hear about Alzheimer's and schizophrenia and all those things.
Schizophrenia. I was surprised.
MS and stuff like that. You can do the same thing.
Yeah. Brain injuries and different things of that nature can cause it. Doing COVID, because COVID it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I want us to think about something else. We need the fresh air. We have to have fresh air. We have to have fresh air. And that was something else. We need to breathe in fresh air continually. We have to have that fresh air. And we have to exercise. And when we exercise, where do we need to be breathing from? What do we need to be taking in oxygen when we exercise? Oh, the nose. It's the nose. It's the nose. You can, anyone need lung expansion? Breathing through your nose is always the best. Breathing through your nose. We need to exercise. And you get out in the open air. Everyone out there, open air, exercise at least 30 to 40 minutes most of the week. Brisk walk is what you need. As long as you can walk. If you can't walk, get on a bike. Whatever it takes. We have to exercise. We have to get that fresh air. These are the things that are going to help us get our smell and taste back. And as we change the food and everything.
I seen a thing the other day where it was saying that, you know how if people are depressed, if they get out in the green or the park or whatever, at least once a day, or at least once a week, they will have more joy. It brings joy.
Nature is therapeutic.
Nature.
It is therapeutic.
Nature.
Y'all just don't know how, and I have to share this before I get done. It's therapeutic when I go out there and feed my little buddy squirrels. It's therapeutic. Have my big bag of peanuts and I'm out there shaking it. You got the evergreens and the pines, you're just walking out there, you're talking to people come up to you and say, what are you looking for? Oh, they know you. Do they know you? They come right up to you. You know, this is therapeutic. We gotta get that fresh air. You have to get it. But the main thing is trusting God. We gotta trust in God. Now, the mucous membrane, if we take air in through our nostrils, we have the little villi, the hairs and everything. Do we know what that's for? Filtering. It's like a filtering system, right? We don't need those blocked up. It's a filtering system.
What?
Cut what out? Well, it's like a filter. Yes.
They cut it out.
Men, well, a lot of men do. Because some of them grow long and they cut them.
It says identifying smells is your brain's way of telling you about your environment. Have you ever smelled your toast burning in an instant? Your brain interpreted the smell and the problem and you knew to check on your toast. Right? So you lose your smell, you lose quite a bit. So I think I gave my testimony. And my wife, I don't know how I knew she lost her smell. We were riding one day and there was a skunk out there. And I said, ooh, you smell that? And she was like, smell what? I said, ooh, that's a problem.
I could eat though, I was eating.
She
I didn't know I had
she
lost
could
the
eat?
smell until I couldn't smell. I used bleach and I couldn't smell that bleach. I don't smell the bleach, I guess I can't smell. But I was still eating. I was still eating.
Yeah, she was eating. But only a few of us lost our smell. Mother, did you lose your, you didn't lose your?
Man, I couldn't eat. Water was nasty. Everything was nasty. Straight to it.
When I drunk water and it tastes spoiled, I said, oh, whew, man, you know. So, you know, I was ready to try something. And it worked. It worked. That coconut oil, that rosemary, and that peppermint, it worked. Here to tell you, it worked. Any questions on so 8 minutes? Just 8 minutes. I want y'all to see. I was just looking at different things as I was, you know, doing the research about the taste, smell, connection, smell, taste, connection. And when I looked up some things on YouTube, this is something that I said I had to share this because it's exactly what we're talking about today. Looking at the screen, can they see the TV in the screen?
Yeah, but they can't see it real clear.
Can you bring it closer? That better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta figure out how to get you. I don't know what H-stack is. This automatic comes with this. Ooh, I still lower it low. Now I had it set on there, but it went off. Just 8 minutes and 36 seconds. I want you to just hear this, young ladies. Oh, we're live. Okay. I guess I can click on that. Have to go to my library. I don't want subscriptions. I want library. What's in the library? Oh, there it is. That is, okay. See, new. I got my taste and smell back after a year. Now she was out of taste and smell for a year. And here's what she did. Now I was just looking at different things. And this is what she did. I thought this was like, wow, I was just amazed. We got y'all.
I had lost my taste and smell for about a year. And I want to show y'all how I got my taste and smell back.
I was just looking at
It's
this.
super easy. All you have to have is coconut oil,
See that?
rosemary essential oil, peppermint essential oil, and a Q-tip. That's it. So let me show you how I did it, and then we'll talk about it, all right? So you take your Q-tip, and you put it in your coconut oil, and you get it really good and full of coconut oil, okay? And then you take and you rub it into your nostril, on both sides. Get it good in there because you don't want it to, these oils are hot oils, and I'll explain that in a minute. You don't want it to burn or anything, all right? So then you flip your Q-tip over to the other tip, and you put 1 drop of rosemary oil on there. All right?
1 drop.
And then you rub that in your nose on both sides. And after you do that, you take a good deep breath, okay? This smells like fixed vapor rub to me. Yep, it does. All right, and then the next thing on the same end as the rosemary oil, you take and put 1 drop of peppermint oil on your Q-tip.
I didn't use the same end.
And then you rub that into your nostril. Just like that. Just like I didn't get this side as well as I got the other side. And then, again, you breathe in. You take several deep cleansing breaths, okay? So, after I did that, I started, I can feel it right now. It's crazy. But you can actually feel it, to me, up here in your sinus area, I guess. I started feeling it breaking up something. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. This is not a medical claim. But anyway, I had some leftover phlegm or whatever you call it up here in my sinus area. And with this, I can still smell it. It smells so good. And I can feel it in the back of my throat. Anyway, with this, probably, I don't know, within a couple of days, I'm trying to think, because it's been about 6 months since I made the original video. And it was a few months before that whenever I did the taste and smell. So it's been almost a year since I did the whole process. So anyway, I started, probably within a couple of days, I started feeling stuff like coming down my throat, like big chunks of stuff. And I was like, constantly, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, so I started feeling everything come down, and probably on day 3, I'm trying to think of when it was, probably on day 3, I started faintly smelling things. And then I know for sure, I will not forget this, on day 5, I was out cutting the grass. And when I was cutting the grass, it hit me all of a sudden that I was smelling the fresh cut grass that I had not been able to smell. You know that smell. I hadn't been able to smell that smell for a year. And so whenever I can still feel some stuff coming down right now. But anyway, so I was out cutting grass and I was smelling that, and that was on day 5, and I was just absolutely amazed. And then I guess I did it, but I don't guess. I know I did this process 3 times a day for 7 days. And the 7th day, I don't know why I stopped. I think I decided that was probably enough because I was smelling the grass. I was smelling other things. And it was, to me, it was a gradual thing that I was getting my smell and taste back, and things started tasting better. The lettuce, whenever I had lost my smell and taste, lettuce tasted like chemicals to me. It was just awful. And one of my favorite things to do at a restaurant is go out and get a salad. And I could not enjoy that at all. And then, let's see, what else was it? Oh, sour cream. Sour cream on your potato. I love baked potatoes with sour cream. And the sour cream had this awful, I just can't even explain it, awful taste, or awful smell to it. And that was gone within those 7, maybe 10 days, because it works after for a little bit. So I realized I could smell sour cream and it wasn't terrible. So I could start putting sour cream on my potatoes. It was just amazing. So the original video, my husband asked me to do this video because it had helped me get my smell and taste back. And he said, you can't keep this in. You've got to share it with people so that it can help other people. And so then he had told me that for a few weeks. And then a friend of mine texted me and she was like, hey, how do you get your smell and taste back? I want to know what you did. And so I was like, well, let me just show you. So I did the video and I tried to text it to her. It was too big to text. I tried to email it to her. It was too big to email. I tried to send it through Facebook Messenger. It was too big to go that way. And so finally I said, I'm just going to upload it to YouTube and then I'll send you the link to that. And I didn't think anything else about it. And as of today, I think it's almost 96,000 people have watched that original video. I'm just blown away by that. And it's just, this YouTube thing is just amazing to me. It's literally just, my mind is blown. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Remember, do it 3 times a day for 7 days and see if it helps you. It helps me. I hope it helps you. I don't know if it will. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I know it's helped a lot of people. There are some people that said it didn't work for them, but there are a lot of people, more to me on my little bitty YouTube channel, there's more people that say that it worked for them than people that said it didn't work for them. So I hope and pray that this works for you. Y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye. Okay.
So, I wasn't looking for that. I was just trying to get, more information. And I ran across that, and I'm like, this is the same thing they use. And I said, amen. That's just another testimony there. And you see how her husband told her, you have to share this. We have to share this information. So I'll say is any closing thoughts or any questions before we get ready to close? If not, I just want to say to anyone listening on YouTube or Facebook, you know how to get in contact with me, or any those here at the church. But you can contact me at 336-259-4997 if you have any questions about anything relating to any issues you may have. There's a lot of information that we here have to share. And the next workshop will be on what date? The third Sunday in March, which is what day?
Third Sunday in March.
Third Sunday of March.
Which will be the 19th.
19th? 19th of March. By God's grace, we'll be here once again from 2 to 4. Until then, let us close out with a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we have to give you all the glory for all that you do. Help us, Lord, to be obedient and not allow our senses to take charge of what the things we know we should be doing. Our appetite is one of our worst enemies that we have. And Lord, as we share these natural remedies, Lord, we must all realize that the healer is our Lord and Savior. And he shows us the tools to use to help when we're sick, when we have ailments. All he wants us to do is just listen. So thank you, Lord, for this time that you've given us, Lord. Thank you for everyone here, everyone out there listening. And Lord, I pray that someone has learned something this day. And I pray this in Jesus' name.